Working as a professor in Therapy College of Engineering, Madurai, in computer science engineering.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. See, we will start with this. See, as we know the token of the basic core programming and all, know the Java programming that what we see. Uh, so first we'll start with like why do we need a programming language? Why we have to go for a programming language and all? What does a programming language will do? So, no, for example, if I want to do some calculations like a plus b, if I want to do some calculations, some 10 and 20, so generally, how will you do? So you have to take two data here, like, okay, so 10 can be represented, and then how 20 can be represented. Instead of doing manual calculations, you want to make this calculation to be done by a computer, correct? So if I want to do 10 plus
Yes.
20, instead of doing it manually, I want to make it to be done by computer. So how computer can do this? So that addition or subtraction, any kind of calculations are, no, so will be done automatically by computer, right? So how it will be done? By accepting the instructions from the programmers like us. Okay. And these instructions, that what we give it to the computer, okay, these instructions can be framed in terms of a programming language. So each and every language, as we used to say, like, okay, in Tamil I can say ukkarunga, in Telugu I can say kurchondi, in English I can say sit down. So every language has
Yeah.
its own meaning, every language has its own syntax, every language has its own semantics. So even in every programming language has their own rules to frame the instructions, to specify the instructions to the computer. So those instructions, we will what do you say? We will write. We will learn. We are here to learn those instructions. You know those syntax, and how can we learn those syntax and semantics in Core Java? So if we know those rules, then we can write the instructions and we can pass the instructions to the computer. Then computer can execute our program and give the expected result to us. So what is meant by a program here? Program is nothing but set of instructions given by the user like us to the computer. Okay. And now the programming language that what we are going to use is Java. So Java has its own rules and syntax and semantics. Now, so for example, if you, well, I'll explain you know whole thing here. Let me take a small notepad. So for example, so if I have a data like 10 and 20. Okay. So what does it mean? So I have two data variables, 10 and 20. How I can represent the data uh, in the program? So whenever we write the program majorly for two purposes. So one is to represent the data and the other one is to perform some functionality on the data. Now here I have is, so this is data for me, and what the operation I want to do? I want to do 10 plus 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I want to do this using a program, so what should I do is, if I just say 10, my program can't understand. So you should know something called as data representation. How can you represent your data to the program? So data representation, we represent the data by using a concept called as variables. And variables is something like some an identifier to hold the data. And that data you have to specify what type of data that it is going to store. For example, I may have a variable called as a. I can give a value called as 10. What does it mean? Is equal to 10 means the value 10 will be assigned to a variable called as a. Now a variable hold a value called as 10. So, and I can take another variable called as b is equal to 20. How can I specify? Like a variable can hold only integer data, only float kind of data, like, okay, only decimal values or characters or strings or some boolean values. How can I specify the type of data that what the variable is going to store? By using something called as data types. Okay. So in Java, we
Yeah.
have many data types like int, which is used to specify integer data type. We have decimals like float and long decimals like double. You have long integer, you have short, and you have byte as well, and you have character, you have Boolean. We have majorly 8 primitive data types in, these are called as primitive data types. Okay, so these are which are used to represent the type of data that a variable is going to store. For example, if I say int a is equal to 10, what does it mean? I have declared a variable, this is called as declaration. See, just see here, if I just give int a, and every instruction in Java have to be ended with a semicolon. Okay, so this is called as declaration of a variable. Why do I need a variable to represent the data? So I will give some a is equal to 10. What does it mean? This is called as definition. Defining a definition of a variable, defining a value to a variable. Okay, now what does it mean? Like a is equal to 10, a is equal to 20 or something. So this variable, if I do both these declaration and definition in the same line, at the time of declaration itself I can do definition. This is called as initialization. I can also do this. Now what I will do here is, so I have declared a variable called as a, which is of data type integer, which means a can hold only integer data. I can change it. Now initially the value is 10. Now I can assign 20. Tomorrow I can assign a is equal to 30. Anything, I can change the a value. It is mutable. It is mutable, okay, changeable, okay. But can I do like this? A is equal to 4.5. No, we cannot do it because a cannot hold the float values because its data type is declared as integer, right?
Yeah.
Its data type is declared as integer. So I cannot give it here like the variable value as C. I cannot give it like this. It cannot hold a character. It cannot hold strings. I cannot give Srikanth. I cannot give like this. Why? Because a variable is a integer data type, so it can hold only integer data. So whenever so if I want to take string data, then I have to another string is not a data type, actually it's a class in Java. So if I want to take another variable, yes, now I can give its value as Srikanth. So depending upon the type of data that you want to represent, you have to define the variables according to their data types. So got it? So are you clear with the data representation and data types?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now once my data is available, now I have variable a is equal to 10, and also I have another variable called as, so I can see int a comma b. Now I'll give b is equal to 20. Okay, so both declaration of variables are done and then definition of variables are also done. Okay, now both are done.
Yes.
So what I do, I have data ready with me. So I want to do some functionality. That is why I write a program. Functionality in Java will be written either in C, we will be writing the functionality logic only inside the functions. But in Java, whenever you want to write the program, you can do functionality on the variable data only inside the methods. You cannot write such kind of, for example, functionality means a plus b. A plus b is also a manipulation of data. So I'm doing some functionality on the data. This functionality also cannot be done outside the methods. It should be done inside functions only. You understand? So let's see how the functions can be declared. We cannot say it as functions. In Java, we can call it as methods. So let's see how methods can be declared in Java. So in Java, methods can be declared like this. Okay. So any name followed with the open and closed parenthesis is said to be called as a method. Method name can be given anything by you, but generally the starting character of the method will be in small case. Okay, in small case. Any
sir, yeah, need to
But-
be in small case or
method name
it's a
should be in
decimal.
small case. If I give method name like, for example, add addition, if I have multiple words in the method name, you please maintain the common coding standards, like, okay, from second word onwards the starting letter should be in capital. See,
Okay.
if you have not followed these rules, I can just give everything in small case, nothing wrong. I can give starting letter as capital also, nothing wrong. But that is not a good programming practice.
Okay.
with the coding standards are, it will compile, it will execute, but still the coding standards are maintaining like a small letter for the function starting and just a capital letter for every method.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now uh, I have a method called as add. I'll open this method body by using a flower brace and close the method body by using the other flower brace. Okay. Now inside method, I can take another variable. So I can do, for example, I'll do a plus b. What is a plus b? 10 plus 20. That result have to be stored. It is 10 plus 20 is again 30. 30 is also a data. So that
Yeah.
also have to be represented by a variable. So that's why I'll take another variable called as c is equal to. So a plus b will be done and the result will be stored in c. Now the c data type I have to define. So just give int c. So what does it mean? It makes a sense for me. I have declared a method to do some functionality on the data. Where is my data? In a and b variable. What functionality I want to do? I want to do addition. So I did the addition and the result I have stored in another data variable, right? And this method, who is calling this method? So if, for example, if I am calling this, see, someone have to invoke this method. The one who is invoking this method can expect some functionality to be done in this method and the result have to be returned back to the user. So using a return statement, I can return the value that whatever to the caller. Okay, to the caller. For example, here I am returning what type? I'm returning variable c. What does it mean? I'm returning a data type integer. So I can give the return type preceding to method declaration. Yes. Return keyword is used to return some value from the calling area to the caller. And you should specify the corresponding return data type preceding to your method declaration. If you are not returning anything, then you should use a return type called as void. Void means I am not returning anything.
Okay.
So variables used to represent the data and it holds the data. Methods used to perform functionality logic on the data. Okay, this functionality logic, like, yeah, see, for example, you generally, I think many of you people are aware of C programming. Anyone who don't know even C programming, the basics?
So, so basics, I
Like
know.
if
Yeah.
statement, if else statement, while loop,
Yes. Yes.
switch case, for loop. Are you aware of these basics?
I
That is what I'm expecting, nothing more than that.
I know Srikant. This
I,
knowledge
I
I
want
know.
the handshake from everyone so that, okay, I can skip that. Generally what I'll do, I'll write a condition if a greater than 5, then I can proceed with c is equal to a plus b. So I want to do addition, okay, only if this condition is met. You understand?
Yes.
Else I want to do c is equal to a minus b. Sorry, yeah, b minus a. I want to do something like this. So I can write my own if condition. If so and so condition is true, if a is greater than 5, then only this instruction will be happen. If not, means else condition, then only this instruction will be executed. You understand what I mean? So general for loop, general, for loop, what does it mean? For example, I have a variable like for, I can give a variable like I is equal to 0. This is the starting value. Now I will give a condition I less than 5. Then I will give for every iteration do I plus plus, means increment by 1. So here inside I'll do, so I have something called as println statement. Println. Now I'll do I value is hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here if you see, what does it mean? This for loop means, see, for initial starting value of I is 0. So I is equal to 0, and now I'm checking the condition. In the for loop, I have 3 arguments. The first one is called as, before semicolon, first one is called as initialization, where I will declare initialize a variable. Now, this is called as condition. The middle statement is called as condition, I less than 5. And I plus plus is the iteration statement. For every iteration, this will be called. So for every iteration, I will be checking the second statement and third statement only. First statement will be done only first time. So first time when I is equal to 0, yes. I less than 5, is 0 less than 5? Yes, condition is true. Now I will go inside the loop and I will print an output called as I value is 0. Now, is my loop is terminated? No, not a terminated. Now I will go to the next iteration. I will do I plus plus. What does it mean? I is equal to I plus 1. Initially it is 0. Now 0 plus 1 how much? 1. Now again I will check the condition. Is 1 less than 5? Correct. So again I will come inside the loop. Now I will display the output as I value is 1. So similarly, I will display next iteration I value is 2, I value is 3, I value is 4, and I value is 5. When, see, I have given 5 less than 5, is it condition true? No, 5 equal to 5, but 5 not less than 5, that the condition fails, which means our control will come out of the for loop. So we have control statements in C, the same control statements are there in Java. To write your logic, to write your conditions, you have if condition, if else, logic, for loop. Similar to for loop, we have something called as while loop. While loop, what does it will do? If I have a greater than 5 or a less than 5, as long as a value is 5, the set of statements that what you write inside this while loop, if I will be writing some set of statements here, some statements. So any statements that you write inside while loop will be continuously iterated and executed. Till what time it will be executed? Till this condition get failed. For example, here I will say before while loop my a value is 0, and inside while loop I will say a plus plus. What does it mean? So for every iteration a will be incremented by 1 till it reaches a value of 1. The while loop will be keep on calling. Got it?
Yeah.
So guys, you understood like the basic controlling statements. These for loop, while loop, if else, all these are called as controlling statements, which is used to handle the control. Control means your cursor man. Okay. My program, even though I write set of instructions in the program, you should know the starting point, you should know the ending point, and the order of executing your statements. So the control will jump from one position to other position. So you can specify that using controlling statements, and you can based on some conditions only you can execute your coding. You can do calculations on the data. Is that clear?
Yes, yes,
Clear.
sir. Clear.
Yeah. Shall we go to the next topic? Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
here in
Yes,
Java, let's see something with classes and interfaces. So what does interfaces mean?
Srikant sir, one information. Another girl, Pagyalashmi from Chennai is also joining. So just
Yeah, please ask.
for your information. Okay.
And she is also not aware of Java, right?
Yeah, she's just now passed out from Sedu Institute of Technology. So she know a little bit, I think so.
CSE background.
Yeah, she has a background.
Okay, good. So I think then she can, we no need to wait for her. She knows the basic, right? She can join in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, okay, sir. Okay.
Give me a minute. Have some water and come back. Yes. Right. Like say in Java, generally what we do is we write the programs either in terms of classes or interfaces. Okay. So if you write the program, say if someone asks you to write a program in Java, so what will you do? So you have to write the program either as a class or an interface. Generally, we prefer classes. Okay. So because interfaces, it contains all abstract methods. What is abstract? Why we don't use interfaces much? Everything I'll tell you slowly. Okay. So if I want to write a program in Java, what should I do? So I can write my program only as a class. Okay. So a class can be written, a program in Java can be written using a keyword called as class and give some class name. But always the class name should be starting with capital letter. Even though if you give small case, not a problem, but that is not the good programming standards. Okay. So for example, I have a class name called as example. So that class can be created by using a keyword called as class. Okay, and the class body will be opened with a flower brace and it will be closed with a flower brace. Okay, what does the program contains? Why do I need to write a program? To do some operation on the data. So which means my program should contain data variables and it also should contain data methods, isn't it? So every class is said to be called as a class is a template that hold data members. Both data variables and data methods are said to be called as data members. So I can declare variables here For example, int a is equal to 10, and I can declare another variable int b is equal to 20. Okay, now in data methods, I'll write a method now, void add. So I have some access specifiers. What is access specifiers? I'll tell you slowly. So I will use this access specifier as public. What does it mean is this method can be called from anywhere. So now I will open the method declaration. I have taken a method name called as add. Open the method body. Inside method body, I will do int c is equal to, okay, int c, I have taken a variable c is equal to a plus b. Now I can display the output. I have a method called as println method inside the system class out object println method. Why system.out.println? I will tell you that explanation after some time. Okay. I want to display something to the user on the screen. I can write that content inside the println method. So here I will say, if I write that content in inverted quotes, as it is, it will be displayed. Hi Shrikant, addition of A and B is. Now I will close the inverted quotes, which means whatever the content that is there in the inverted quotes, as it is, it will get displayed on the screen. And I'll use some plus operator. Plus here it means concatenation operator. To this information which is there in the double quotes, to this string, I'm adding a value. So that's why I'm concatenating a value. I'll use a plus operator. Here plus is said to be called as concatenation. What is the result is there? Result is there in variable C. So I'll close this instruction. I'll close the method. Now I have data variables ready. I have the method ready. Inside method, I'm doing C is equal to A plus B, and I'm displaying that output to the user. Output will be displayed as follows. Hi Shrikant, addition of A and B is 30. Like that, the output should come. Now, I have data with me, I have methods with me, but there should be a starting point in the program where we will decide what should be called, when should be called. For all Java programs, for all Java classes, the starting point is main method. So that main method, similar to your C language, here also we have main method, but that main method syntax looks like this. Public static void main. Since it is a method main, it has open and closed parenthesis. Now inside main method, by default, it has a string array arguments, some variable. Okay. So why I have given syntax like this? Okay, that is, I will tell you why what is public, what is static, void. Okay, since this method is not going to return anything, that's why my return type is void. And this method has some arguments. What is arguments and what is this arrays? So I'll tell you slowly. Okay. Now I have taken a main method. Inside main method, if you want to access the members of a class, you should create the object to the class. Please remember, to access the members of a class, what are the members we have? We have data variables and data methods. So how many variable members are there here? I have data variable A, B and add. I have 3 members. You can access these 3 members of a class by using object of a class. To access the members of a class, we should create its object. Okay, how to create the object of a class? The class name space object name is equal to new keyword. Again give the class name, open and close the parenthesis, give semicolon. So what is this method? Sir, you told like set of characters followed with open and closed parenthesis is a method. Yes. Here I have a method with a class name. Class name itself I have a method. What is that it is called as? It is called as constructor. So for what constructors is used, I'll tell you in some time. Okay. Now let's see how to create an object. Object, what is my object name? I have given it as E. You can give anything. But for which class I am creating object? Example class. So class name space give some object name is equal to new keyword. New keyword allocates memory to the object. And I am calling the constructor of the class at the time of object creation. Now, using dot operator, I can access the members of a class. So inside object E, I have 3 members. I have A, I have B, I have add. So when I say E dot add, when I call this method, now the method add method will be called. You cannot call add method directly. you can call the add method only using objects of that class. This add method is there inside the class example. So I should create an example class object and object name dot method name, which is used to accessing member of a class. This is how you should do. Object name dot object dot member. This is the syntax. This is the rule you should follow. Okay. For example, if I want to display to the user like system dot out dot println, I want to say a value is I want to display a value. How can I get a value? If I say a, will the value will be displayed? No. What should I do? Object name dot a, because a, b, add, everything is now is inside objects. You can access the members of a class only through objects. This is a very, very, very important and basic point. If you just understand this point, this program, you are very good with Java. Very, very good with Java. That's enough. In Java, program can be written in terms of classes. In classes, class contains data variables, data methods. Variables hold and represent data. Methods hold and represent functionality. Either variables or methods is said to be called as data members. These members of a class can be accessed, can be called only by using objects. And the way how you create the object for the class is class name space object name is equal to new space call the constructor of the class. And using object name dot the corresponding member name in the class, you can access the members of the class. So if I want to display variable b variable value, how can I do that?
Sir, you are not audible. Srikanth sir?
Yeah, I'm audible. Like, so now I can
Yes, now
I can display the value b value as well. Okay. So if I want to call add method, now I don't call it here, I'll call it here. Okay. Now I want to display to the user some message like addition of a and b is. Now I'll call e.add. So my execution, first when I run this program, the control starts from this line, from main method onwards. First it will go to create the object, then it will display a value is 10, b value is 20, then it display a addition of a and b is, and then it will call the method. So control will jump from this point to, now it will go to add method. Inside add method, it will create a variable c, a is equal to a, c is equal to a plus b means 10 plus 20, and then it will display the output like, hi Srikanth, addition of a and b is 20. So can we run this program and then see how the output comes? Shall we?
yes, sir. Yeah.
So we have some ID editor called as Eclipse. Okay. So you just have to install Java. I think Java installation and Eclipse, I think Raman, they are already aware.
No, sir, I will let them know. No issue.
Yeah, because we have to install Java software in our computer. It is just download the software, double click that software. If we say next, and okay, it will be installed. After that, you have to set the path. How to set the path? Okay, I think Raman will help you out. You have many videos also. It's a very simple step. Right click on your My Computer, go to environment variables, and then there is a path variable. You just have to edit your Java path there. Okay. Now, once the Java is installed, to develop our projects, to write our code, to build to develop the code actually for our projects, we have an editor which is called as IDE, Integrated Development Environment, where you can develop multiple languages, multiple projects. So I have an editor. So many editors are there in the market. I'm using Eclipse. So this Eclipse IDE depending on your machine. If it is your machine is 32-bit or 64-bit motherboard, depending on that, you can download the corresponding Eclipse version and then you can open it. It looks like this. Once you open, now you can create a new project. See, go to File, go to New, create a Java project. So I'm going to create a project. So I can give some name to my project. I can say, okay, online demo. Some project name I can give and just say finish. When I click finish button, see here on my right hand side screen, I got online demo project is created. Inside this project, there is a folder by default that is called as SRC folder. SRC means source. This is the folder where I will be writing my classes. Okay, so right click on this folder. Right click on this folder. I'll go for new class. I'm going to create a new class. What is my class name? Example. Do you need main method? Yes, you can just tick this option and say finish. See, example.java class automatically created, and it created a package called as online demo. Okay, which means under online demo package is nothing but collection of classes. I can keep some set of classes in a single package. Okay, and you can define a package using a keyword called as package. For example, next class if I take abc.java, so all Java programs, all classes should be saved with a extension called as .java. Okay, so if I take another program called as abc.java, what happens is that class also I want to keep it in the same package. So at the starting of the program in abc class, you just give a keyword called as package space, just give the same package name. So both of them will be in the same package. Okay, now okay, now inside example class, what should I do? In int a is equal to 10, I'll take another variable int b is equal to 20. Okay, variable declaration is done, and I'll take a method public void add okay, addition of a and b is, where is my output? My output is in concatenation operator, give the value c. So the addition should be done here, right? So I'll take a local variable c is equal to a plus b. See, this c variable, its a lifetime exists in between this parenthesis and this parenthesis. This variable c cannot be accessed outside this method, add method, because all where these variables, say variable a, its a life scope exists between the starting clever brace and ending clever brace. Got it? So every variable or every method has its own boundaries or scope. Okay, now I have declared variables, I have declared method as well. What should I do? How can I execute? Execution starts from main method. So I want to call this method add. How can I do that? Using
Objects.
creating an object. So class name space object name is equal to new class name. Okay, now object, how can I invoke the members of the class? Object name dot add.
method.
Control S, save my program. Now if I want to run my program, right click on my computer, right click on my program, go for something called as run as a Java application. So can you see this output on the console? Addition of a and b is 30. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All of you, do you have any doubts?
No doubt, sir. Simply super.
No, sir. It's clear.
Clear, right? Good. Now because if you understand this basic program, rest of all the concepts, I just gonna change this program. I will do a bit, I'll just play with this program. I'll introduce every topic only with this program only, this simple basic program only.
Okay.
Because I'll do a lot of changes in this program. and I will demonstrate you the rest of the topics in Java. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, we'll see here, why do we need constructors? What is a constructor? Constructor is a method whose name is equal to class name. Correct? Is this correct definition? Here my constructor is example. It is followed with open and closed parenthesis, which means it's a method whose method name is equal to class name. That's why it is not a normal method, it is a constructor. And why constructors are
Okay.
required, and why I am calling the constructor only at the time of object creation? That's another question, right? So what should I do is, so if I want to create this object, so at the time of object creation only I am creating the constructor. So what should I do is, the reason behind this, for example, I have declared the variables A, I have declared the variable B, and I have this add method also. My execution starts here at main method. This is the starting point. I will create an object.add method. So from this method, the control will jump to here. Now it is expecting C is equal to A plus B. Is there any value inside A and B?
No.
So without there is any values in A and B, can I use them?
You can't. We can't.
If you use, okay, it won't have any value, it will give you some garbage error, correct? Some garbage data, some
Yeah.
random number it will give, but it won't give you any meaningful data, right?
Yeah.
So what should you do? You should ensure that your data variables is initialized with some value, is defined with some value. So
Yes, sir.
constructors are not mandatory, but for using constructors is a good programming practice. Please remember, constructors are not mandatory, but it is a good programming practice. Now what should I do? You can call add method only if object is there. So at the time of object creation itself, why I should not take the responsibility of initializing the members of a class? I got a doubt. Yes. Why can't I initialize the members only at the time of object creation itself, so that only after object creation only I can access the members, right? So I should take care of variable initialization at the time of object creation itself. So at that time, that's why I'll create a constructor. So this constructor will be called at the time of object creation. So I'll create a constructor here, a method with the class name. Inside this constructor, I will write the I'll write the code to initialize the variable data. What happens now? The execution starts from main method. Yes. It creates the object. At the time of object creation, it goes to constructor. Yes, the control will come to constructor. Now A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. Variable got defined with some value. Then the control comes back to here. Then now I'm calling add method. So control jumps from here to here. And in add method, I'm doing A plus B, some functionality on the data. And finally, I'm displaying some output to the user. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now let me run this
Yes.
program. Right click on my program, run as Java application. Addition of A and B is 30. There is no compilation errors. Is that clear? Good. Now,
Clear.
if I am not passing any arguments in the constructor, that is said to be called as default constructor. If I am passing the arguments to the constructor, that is said to be called as parameterized constructor, because I am passing parameters. I can also do like this. I can int 10, 20. I can do like this. What does it mean? At the time of constructor itself, I am passing some values. To match that constructor type, I will write one more constructor, int some p, comma int some q. Now variable A is equal to value p and B is equal to the value that whatever that q is going to have. What happens? What does it mean? I'm creating an object and I'm passing 10, 20 values to the constructor. There are two methods with the same name. Example also and another example. But one example, this method don't have any arguments. It's a default constructor. This one has arguments. Of 2 arguments are there, and their data type is integer. Like that, I may have multiple methods with the same name, but the method arguments, number of arguments in the method and the data type of the arguments may vary, may change. If I have multiple methods with the same name, that is called as a data overloading, method overloading. Okay?
Okay.
I am overloading the methods, means same method name is there, but only the argument type and number of arguments are getting varied. Now, what is the constructor I am calling? I am calling a constructor with 2 parameters. Which among these are 2 parameterized constructors? This one or this one? Second one. Second one. So the first one won't be called. Only second one will be called. So the 10 and 20 I am passing. The first value will be stored automatically into P. The second value 20 will be stored automatically into Q. So now I am saying A is equal to copy the value of P to A, copy the value of Q to B. Now again, after that, I'll call the add method. It will come to here. Now C is equal to A plus B, which means 10 plus 20. Again, it will display the same output. So you have multiple ways to initialize the members. Correct?
Okay.
So you can directly initialize the members. A is equal to 10, A is equal to 20. You can do it using default constructor. You can also do it using parameterized constructor. You have multiple ways to do that. Otherwise, instead of using constructors, I can also do like this. E dot object name dot A is equal to some 20. Object name dot B is equal to 40. Can I do like this? Now,
Yes.
I've called the constructor,
Yes.
so I passed 10 and 20. So it will go here. Now the variable A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. After this method, it comes to the next line. Now I have overridden the value of A. I've changed the value of A to 20 and the B value to 40. And again, now I am calling addition method. Now addition should be 20 plus 40. What does it mean? It should give me the output 60. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Simple.
Yes.
Now, which means using objects, you can access the variables. Using objects, you can access the methods also. A class is nothing but a structure or a template that has data members, which are nothing but data variables and data methods. Both can be accessed by using the objects of a class and object name dot member name. And these objects can be created only inside main method, because main method is declared as the starting point for the program execution. Do you understand these basics?
Yes, sir.
Very simple.
sir.
Java is very easy language, very simple language. Not all people know this secret. Many people, they get scared because, okay, rather than believing ourselves, we always depend on others. We always depend on, see, instead of watching the movie directly, we will always ask other friends, how was the movie? How was the review? If he said that he didn't like that movie, the movie was bakwas, you people stop seeing that movie itself. We should have always have our own opinion about everything, right? Because once we watch the movie, we will come to know we may like the movie. He didn't like the movie because his taste is different. We will like the movie because it's all our efforts, right? Even some people may
Yes,
find
sir.
difficulty with Java because they may not understand this. They may not have tried understanding Java in a proper way. We like Java very much because we understanding the topics in Java in a proper way, and we keep the things, we load, for example, from the basics we are trying to inject the knowledge of Java into our minds in a what do you say, proper way, step by step, one after another. We are just injecting this information into our mind in a constructed manner. Slowly we are gaining confidence on programming in Java. Slowly we are learning the concepts in Java.